In 2025, grocery shopping has turned into a financial minefield. Prices are climbing faster than paychecks, and every trip to the store feels like a new shock. Essentials that once felt affordable, like bread, milk, and fresh produce, are now stretching budgets to the breaking point. Families are being forced to make difficult decisions at the checkout, cutting back on the very basics they rely on. The most surprising part? It's not luxury items causing the strain. It's the everyday staples you pick up without a second thought. In this video, we're uncovering the 12 foods that are hitting wallets the hardest this October. You might be buying these items every week, completely unaware of how much they're draining your budget. Stick around because the truth behind these skyrocketing prices will leave you wondering how much longer you can keep up. 1. Cooking oil crisis. Cooking oil, especially olive oil, has become a glaring example of how essentials turn into luxuries during times of crisis. When panic hits, people rush to stock up on cooking oil, knowing it's a kitchen staple that's hard to replace. But in 2025, olive oil is no longer just a pantry item, it's a financial burden. Severe droughts in Spain, Italy, and Greece have decimated olive harvests, slashing supply while demand remains sky-high. Prices have skyrocketed, making what was once a common grocery item a wallet-draining purchase. The health benefits of olive oil, long celebrated as a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, are now out of reach for many families. Rich in antioxidants and essential for heart health, it's been replaced by cheaper, less nutritious alternatives. These substitutes, often loaded with refined additives, don't come close to offering the same benefits. Families are forced to compromise on quality, trading health for affordability. The ripple effects extend beyond households. Restaurants, bakeries, and food producers that rely heavily on olive oil are grappling with soaring costs, passing those expenses down to consumers. This means higher prices not just for olive oil itself, but for countless products made with it. Cooking oil, once a symbol of healthy living, has become a stark reminder of how fragile and expensive our food system has become. 2. Powdered milk panic. Powdered milk, once the go-to alternative for fresh dairy, is now a financial trap. When panic sets in, families instinctively grab powdered milk, knowing it's a long-lasting, versatile source of nutrition. But in 2025, this once affordable staple has become shockingly expensive. Rising dairy production costs, expensive packaging, and global supply chain disruptions have driven prices through the roof. For decades, powdered milk was a lifeline for families without access to fresh dairy, providing essential calcium, protein, and vitamins. Now, a single bag costs significantly more than it did just a year ago, leaving families scrambling to find alternatives. Fresh milk isn't a viable option either, as it's also seeing price hikes. Plant-based alternatives like almond, soy, or oat milk are even more expensive, leaving families with fewer affordable choices. The loss of affordable powdered milk is more than an economic inconvenience. It's a public health crisis. In many parts of the world, powdered milk is the only reliable source of nutrition for children and adults alike. As prices climb, families are forced to cut back, compromising their health and well-being. Powdered milk, once a budget-friendly bridge to proper nourishment, is now collapsing under the weight of rising costs. 3. Jam jolt. Jam, the sweet and colorful spread that once brightened breakfast tables, has become a luxury item in 2025. When panic hits, people stock up on comfort foods like jam, only to find that it's no longer the affordable treat it used to be. The rising cost of fruit, sugar, and glass jars has pushed jam prices to new heights, making it an unnecessary expense for many families. What was once a weekly grocery item is now seen as a luxury, with families cutting back or switching to cheaper artificial alternatives. But the loss of real fruit jam is more than just a financial issue. It's a cultural one. Jam represents childhood breakfasts, family traditions, and simple pleasures. Its disappearance from everyday life is a bitter reminder of how even the smallest comforts are being priced out of reach. Artificial spreads may still be cheap, but they lack the authenticity, nutrition, and taste of real jam. Families that downgrade are sacrificing quality for affordability, while others stop buying spreads altogether. The rising cost of jam is a stark example of how even the simplest joys are becoming unattainable in 2025. 4. Rice reality check. Rice, the cornerstone of diets for billions, is becoming one of the most financially devastating foods in 2025. When panic strikes, rice is one of the first items to fly off the shelves. It's cheap, filling, and versatile, or at least it used to be. Climate disasters, export restrictions, and surging global demand have driven rice prices to unprecedented levels, turning this budget staple into a financial burden. For centuries, rice has been the ultimate survival food, providing essential calories and forming the backbone of countless cultural traditions. From Asian stir-fries to Latin American rice and beans, rice is more than just food, it's a way of life. But in 2025, families who once bought 20 or 50-pound sacks to last weeks are finding them unaffordable. Smaller portions, skipped meals, and even eliminating rice altogether are becoming the norm. The consequences are far-reaching. There are few viable substitutes for rice. Potatoes and pasta are also seeing price hikes, and bread is equally affected by wheat inflation. The disappearance of cheap rice doesn't just change what people eat, it reshapes entire cultures and threatens global food security. In 2025, rice is no longer the food of the poor. It's a luxury item, a stark reminder of how fragile our food system has become. If prices continue to climb, rice could become a symbol of survival slipping out of reach for billions. 5. Honey crisis. Honey, which was once a readily available and natural sweetener, has transformed into a significant financial burden in the year 2025. In times of widespread panic, it's a common human instinct to reach for items like honey, valued for its impressive long shelf life and numerous health benefits. But now, consumers are facing sticker shock as honey prices soar, a direct result of several converging factors: declining bee populations, increasingly unpredictable weather patterns, and skyrocketing production costs. A simple jar of honey, which used to be a routine grocery item, now feels more like a luxury purchase reserved for special occasions. The loss of affordable honey represents more than just a financial hit to household budgets, it's a significant blow to both public health and cherished traditions. Honey has always been celebrated for its natural antibacterial properties, rich antioxidant content, and its role as a trusted natural remedy in households for generations. Families are now being forced to replace this natural wonder with artificial syrups and highly processed sweeteners, which lack both the distinct flavor and the nutritional benefits of pure honey. This unfortunate shift not only diminishes the overall quality of diets, but also begins to erase the deep cultural significance of honey as a symbol of natural goodness and wholesomeness. Furthermore, the rising cost of honey serves as a glaring and urgent sign of a much larger environmental crisis unfolding around us. Bees are essential pollinators for countless crops that form the backbone of our food supply, and their continued decline poses a grave threat to global agriculture. Therefore, the escalating honey prices aren't merely an issue of economic inflation, they are a clear warning of what's to come if this broader ecological collapse continues unchecked. In 2025, honey is no longer a simple pantry staple, but a stark and costly reminder of just how fragile our entire food system has become. 6. Cookie crunch. Cookies, the simple and universally loved treat that once brought affordable joy to households everywhere, are now a source of financial strain in 2025. When a sense of panic hits, people instinctively reach for comforting foods like cookies, only to discover that they've become shockingly expensive. The relentlessly rising costs of essential ingredients like flour, sugar, and butter, combined with increased packaging expenses, have driven cookie prices through the roof. This has turned what was once a casual impulse purchase into a carefully considered luxury. Families who used to toss a package of cookies into their shopping carts without a second thought are now reluctantly leaving them on the shelves. This isn't just about foregoing a simple snack. It's about losing a tangible piece of cultural tradition. Cookies are intrinsically tied to so many warm memories: childhood afternoons, family gatherings, and festive holiday celebrations. Their growing absence from kitchen cupboards represents a cultural loss, a poignant reminder that even the simplest of life's joys are being priced out of reach for the average person. While cheaper alternatives do exist, They are often ultra-processed and packed with artificial additives and preservatives, offering little in the way of real comfort or nutrition. Baking at home might seem like a solution, but even the cost of individual ingredients is steadily climbing, making it a less viable option for many. In 2025, cookies are no longer the affordable sweet punctuation to daily life, but have become another item that families must ration and treat like a rare luxury. 7. Canned bean crisis. Canned beans, once the undisputed champion of budget-friendly protein sources, have now become a financial trap in 2025. When panic and uncertainty set in, people instinctively stock up on canned beans, knowing they are a reliable, non-perishable, and versatile food. But now, a combination of rising agricultural costs, soaring metal prices for the cans themselves, and energy-intensive production processes have driven up prices to an alarming degree, leaving families shocked at the checkout counter. For decades, canned beans have served as a crucial safety net for households, a dependable go-to for quick, nutritious, and affordable meals. From hearty stews and chilies to refreshing salads, they stretched family budgets and provided essential nutrition, especially when more expensive items like meat were out of reach. Now, with their prices climbing steadily, families are losing a vital nutritional and financial lifeline. Dry beans might appear to be a cheaper alternative on the surface, but they come with their own set of hidden costs. The need for soaking, lengthy cooking times, and constant monitoring makes them far less convenient, particularly for working families with limited time, energy, and resources. The rising cost of canned beans is therefore much more than a simple inconvenience. It is a clear and troubling sign that even the most basic, dependable, and affordable foods are slipping out of the grasp of ordinary people. 8. Instant soup shock. Instant soup, long considered the ultimate cheap and convenient meal, has regrettably joined the growing list of budget-busting foods in 2025. During times of panic, people have always grabbed instant soup packets, valuing their rock-bottom affordability and effortless preparation. But today, the escalating costs of dried ingredients, modern packaging, and complex global shipping logistics have turned even this humble food into a surprising and unwelcome expense. For many, instant soup has always been more than just a meal. It's been an essential safety net. It's the quick fix for cold nights, for days when the budget is stretched thin, or for moments when time is simply too short to cook a full meal. A single packet of soup could reliably provide warmth, necessary calories, and a sense of comfort. Now, with its price steadily climbing, that dependable safety net is beginning to disappear. The alternatives to instant soup invariably require more money, more time, and more resources, all of which are in short supply for many. Making soup from scratch demands fresh vegetables, broth, and perhaps meat or beans, all of which are also experiencing their own price hikes. In 2025, instant soup is no longer the affordable refuge it once was. Its rising price is a stark and sobering reminder that in this new reality, even the simplest and most reliable foods are becoming unaffordable for those who need them most. 9. Chocolate crisis. Chocolate, once the go-to affordable indulgence, has become a financial shock in 2025, leaving many longing for its once simple pleasures. When panic hits, people instinctively reach for chocolate, seeking comfort in its sweetness and the emotional relief it brings. But cocoa shortages in West Africa, compounded by skyrocketing sugar prices and relentless global inflation, have turned this beloved treat into a luxury item. A bar of chocolate that used to be a casual checkout impulse now feels like an extravagant splurge, forcing many to reconsider its place in their lives. The cultural weight of chocolate makes its absence from daily routines especially painful. It's not just a snack, it's a universal symbol of joy, tradition, and celebration. From birthday cakes to Valentine's Day boxes and holiday treats, chocolate has been woven into the fabric of life's happiest moments. Now families are being forced to cut back drastically, and children face a reality where chocolate isn't as accessible as it was for previous generations who took its abundance for granted. While artificial candies and cheaper alternatives may still line the shelves, they lack the richness, authenticity, and nutritional value that real cocoa products offer. Without chocolate, celebrations feel a little less special, and small moments of indulgence are harder to come by. The rising cost of chocolate is a stark reminder that even the foods most closely tied to happiness and tradition are no longer immune to financial strain. In 2025, chocolate isn't just food. It has become a rare luxury, reserved for only the most special occasions. 10. Pasta price surge. Pasta, long considered the ultimate budget-friendly meal, has become a financial burden in 2025, marking an unexpected shift in what was once a household staple. When panic strikes, people stock up on pasta, knowing it's cheap, filling, and endlessly versatile, or at least it used to be. However, a surge in wheat prices caused by droughts, global supply chain disruptions, and rising fertilizer costs has sent pasta prices through the roof. A simple box of spaghetti or penne that once felt like an easy, no-brainer purchase now comes with its own sticker shock. The cultural significance of pasta makes this trend especially devastating. For decades, it's been the go-to meal for families needing something quick, affordable, and comforting. Whether it's a simple weekday dinner or the heart of a festive gathering, pasta has symbolized tradition, unity, and practicality in the kitchen. Losing this affordability forces families to cut back on a food that has long been the cornerstone of everyday life, and that loss resonates deeply. Even substitutes like rice or bread, once considered viable backups for tight budgets, are no longer much cheaper, as they too have been caught in the wave of inflation. This leaves households with even fewer ways to stretch their food budgets, especially when feeding large families. Pasta, once regarded as the food of the people, has become yet another symbol of how even life's simplest staples are slipping out of reach in 2025. 11. Instant coffee collapse. Instant coffee, the budget-friendly caffeine fix, has become an unexpected financial trap in 2025, making mornings a little harder for millions. When panic strikes, people instinctively turn to instant coffee, valuing its convenience, affordability, and ability to provide a quick burst of energy. However, global coffee crop failures driven by climate change and rising production costs have pushed prices to record highs. What was once the cheapest and easiest way to enjoy a daily cup of coffee is now an unexpectedly significant expense. Coffee has always been more than just a beverage. It's a ritual, a daily routine, and a source of comfort in challenging times. Instant coffee, in particular, has served as a reliable choice for students, workers, and families needing an affordable energy boost. Its simplicity and accessibility made it a staple in countless households. The fact that even this option has been priced out of reach is a harsh reminder of how inflation is stripping away even the smallest daily comforts. Alternatives are few and far between. Tea, another popular option, is also becoming more expensive, and energy drinks, while effective, are both costly and often unhealthy. For many, instant coffee was the last affordable option to get through the day's demands. Now, its absence from household budgets highlights a stark reality. Even the smallest, most routine joys are being stolen by rising costs. In 2025, the disappearance of instant coffee from many homes is a sobering reflection of how inflation impacts even the simplest pleasures. 12. Nut nightmare. Nuts, once a dependable and relatively affordable source of protein and healthy fats, are now among the priciest items on grocery store shelves in 2025. When panic strikes, people stock up on nuts, knowing they're both nutritious and long-lasting, making them an ideal snack or meal addition. But climate change, severe water shortages, and rising energy and shipping costs have caused nut prices to skyrocket. A small bag of almonds, cashews, or walnuts now costs as much as an entire meal, putting them out of reach for many families. The nutritional impact of this shift is significant. Nuts are packed with protein, fiber, and essential vitamins and minerals, making them one of the healthiest and most versatile foods available. Doctors and nutritionists have long recommended them as a key part of a balanced diet, emphasizing their role in maintaining heart health and energy levels. Now, families are being priced out of one of the best natural foods for overall wellness, a loss with long-term health implications. Cheaper snack alternatives, like chips, candy, and processed crackers, may still be affordable, but they're loaded with salt, sugar, and preservatives, offering none of the nutrition that nuts provide. This shift not only hurts wallets, but also damages public health, as people are forced to choose less nutritious options to stay within their budgets. If prices continue to rise, nuts will no longer be the everyday superfood they once were, but a luxury snack reserved for those who can afford it. The loss of accessibility to nuts is yet another example of how even the healthiest, most basic foods are becoming out of reach in 2025.